A big welcome to everybody who is joining in for the early SAT advantage. Today, we are going to actually cover very important strategies that you are going to encounter in the digital SAT with respect to the questions, which have been newly introduced for the digital SAT as we have two of our finest experts in Manya education who have been very influential in making sure that our program has been launched for students like you, which is Sinu and Raji. To talk about Sinu, he is the senior master trainer for the math portion and one of the strongest subject matter experts on the team with over 8 years of experience teaching, development, and ensuring quality. Whereas when we talk about Raji, she's a brilliant senior master trainer and a passionate educator who has over 2 decades of experience in higher education training. And Raji is devoted to bringing that eureka moment into her students' life. I would like to extend a big welcome to both of you, Sinu and Raji.
Thank you, Seema.
Thank you, Seema.
Thank you so much for being here. And, I'm sure that this session is going to be super exciting for the students since they'll get to learn a lot of strategies that we help make the students make the learning better as well. So I would like to let you take over.
All right. Very warm good evening to all you kids who joined here on time. I could see a lot of you joining off. And I'm here to ensure that you take away a lot of what that digital SAT brings in. And you surely will understand that strategies will help in getting you to a great score. Okay, so before I even get into the questions, because I know once I show you all the screen, you all will start already solving. All right. So before that, a little bit of what exactly is in store for you all on the sections, people. So I bet you all already have done your side of exploring. So you have the reading, writing together on the digital SAT. It's no more separate sections. And hence, the questions sort of come in two modules. In each module, you have 27 questions, which you ought to do of, in 32 minutes. And that's a very, very, crucial strategy you need to be able to conquer 27 questions in so less time, right? And that's where strategies come to play. And you all have to really, really practice a lot on implementing those strategies to be able to rock that SAT. So now that you all know that there are questions that test you on comprehension, as well as that which tests you on the grammar, let's move ahead with certain strategies that will help you solve the questions readily. Okay, so here we go. So this is a question that is asking you, as used in the text, what does the word sweet most nearly mean? All right. So to even get to the part, 1 minute. Yeah, so Seema, will the students be able to even respond in the chat box? Let me know that.
Yes, Raju.
Yeah,
They
all
can
right.
respond.
Great. So, all right. So people, you can see that this question is clearly asking y'all to get the meaning of the word sweet as used in the context. Okay, so what could be the strategy for this? Okay, you have to read the sentence to get the context. So first and foremost, for that, you need to exactly know where the word sweet is. So where do you find the word sweet, people? Hello? Okay, so the last line of the paragraph, well said. So here it is. So we need to read that sentence to understand what could the word sweet mean in the context. All right. So when you read it, okay, great. So Rajeshwari, what came to your mind the moment you read that sentence? What was your own word? Did you peek into the answer choices at once? I bet most of y'all would have just read, looked into the answer choices, and lo, my answer has to be array. Probably this was quite easy in this case, people, because sweet, as we pronounce it, would mean candy, but in no way does the context actually even mean that. All right. Now, sweet, we know also is a room. So the literal meaning of sweet is room, which almost always is a trap on the SAT. All right. So you will have to be careful not to use the literal meaning. But of course, sometimes the literal meaning could also be the answer, people. So all depends on you reading for the context. That's very, very important. All right. So clearly, array, bingo, as your first one gets correct. Let's go to another one. Now, this, can you see the question has now changed to which choice completes the text so that it conforms to the conventions of standard English. So whenever you see these phrases in the question itself, people, it will either check you on punctuations, all right, or on some grammar rule. So looking at the answer choices, can you tell me what does this test you on? Vedant, wait for my question and then probably you could give answers. All right. I didn't even ask you all the answer. My question was, what is this question testing you all on? Exactly, punctuation. So it's important to recognize questions. All right. Then is when you will move on to look at the text. All right. So you can clearly see that it says sometimes, as in the case of Michelangelo's famous sculpture, David, the cleaning and restoration of artworks is a simple blank. And then you have three items listed down: applying chemicals, washing away grime, and scrubbing off the dirt. So this is what tells us that we are listing down things. Okay, so I can see some moving with a semicolon and some moving on with probably a colon. Some might still be confused. So here is where some punctuation rules will sort of help. All right. So on the SAT, when do you use a semicolon is between two complete ideas. All right. So is the idea on the right of where the blank is complete, people? No, na? It just lists three items down. So that is what will make us eliminate option D. You can't use a semicolon unless you have two complete ideas on either side. All right. Now we just have the colon, comma, and no punctuation at all. And here is where, whenever we have a complete idea before a colon, then the colon works. All right. So what can our answer be out here? Can we read till matter and see whether it is a complete idea, people? Sometimes the cleaning and restoration of artworks is a simple matter. So when we read till matter, it's absolutely a complete idea. And when I have a complete idea and then listed down stuff, the comma won't work, nor will no punctuation work. So the only answer choice that works will be colon. Yes, Rajeshwari. Yeah, so some rules of the punctuations are needed to understand the SAT questions. All right. So here again, you have the phrase conforms to the conventions of standard English. And here, what do you think, people? Is it testing us with punctuation or is it testing us with some grammar rule? Yeah, you can see no punctuation here. And among the grammar rules, mostly you get tested on certain topics. So what do you think this guy is testing us with when you look at the answer choices? Oh, wonderful that you already know the term subject verb agreement. So you can clearly see that there's a difference between is, are amongst the choices. So all you need to check on is where's the subject. Very good. So what do you think is the subject, people, in this sentence? Let's read and check out. Who's going to tell me what's the subject for this sentence? Okay, so actually, Vedant, the entire subject is one of the major success stories from among blah, blah, blah. Actually, that entire thing is the subject. But since I'm talking only about one of the major success stories, very good, this became the subject. That means it's clear I have a singular subject. And what does our rule say is I need a singular verb. So what does that make us eliminate, people? Obviously, the R's will go away. Yeah. Now, the question is, do I require the that or don't I? What do you think? What can be eliminated? So I saw someone submit a that is. Do I really require a that is? Only is. Yes, wonderful, Vedant. Because the moment I say that is, I will require some more explanation to the that is. But already I have the latter sentence speaking about the Netflix, which is the streaming and DVD mailing giant. So I just need a solo is. I do not want the that. All right. A simple rule, but it might confuse you if you do not read into the context and check out where is the subject. Is it a singular or a plural? All right. Great. So I think the grammar bit actually caught on y'all and y'all were able to do even the words in context. Now, this particular question that you see on the screen now is to do with certain notes taken by students, people. This is a new type of question that Digital SAT has introduced. And whenever you actually even see this format of a question, wherein it begins with while researching a topic, a student has taken the following notes. And you see, a stream of notes, bullet points. You can be sure that you have been asked to accomplish a goal. So the entire question isn't here. So the next slide brings in the question here, people. Which choice most effectively uses relevant information from the notes to show a contradiction to the student's claim? So where would you look for the student's claim, people? Who's going to tell me? The notes can't be the student's claim. So obviously, what we have here above the question is the claim. Got it? So let's first read what the claim is. A student claims that sows gain weight only during the late summer and fall in preparation for hibernation. So this is the claim. Now, the moment we see the claim, we shouldn't rush. What do we need to accomplish as in the goal? We have to show a contradiction to a student's claim, people. So what could those contradictions be? Student says the sows gain weight only during late summer and fall. Maybe our answer would show that no, it might gain weight other times also, or our answer possibly might show that no, it actually lost weight. There could be various contradictions, but I need a contradiction, that's for sure. So let's quickly now skim through the notes, people. I'll give you all some time to go through these notes. All right. Just maybe a 30 seconds to skim through. So, have you all skimmed? All right, if need be, we will always have the notes to go back to. Don't worry, the notes are not going to disappear at all. So let's come to the answer choices, people, and move on to see where there is a contradiction. So let's read option A, people. Would we keep it or would we eliminate it? What does it say? Although fall food resources have been shown to influence bear populations, the quality of the early foraging season may have an effect on the development of cubs. During the first year, the cubs double their weight every 2 months. Okay, you would want to keep it. The sows that were studied gained between 12 to 140 pounds over 2 months. Would this be a choice that we would keep? Is this contradicting the student's claim, people? No, it just says it gained weight, and I need to contradict the claim that it gained weight during only the late summer. So we can move on to eliminate. Okay, let's look at C. During this early summer period, the bears are working to gain more muscle than fat. Okay, a no. All right. And why would this be a no? They are gaining weight, but they are gaining more muscle than fat. Okay, fine. Let's look at D. The salmon season, which runs from July through October, provides a fat-rich food source for the bear. Does this even contradict or do anything to even say the opposite of the claim? No. Okay. So you all would have picked A as the answer. So let's read the answer once, people. Although fall food resources have been shown to influence bear populations, the quality of the early foraging season may have an effect on the development of cubs. During the first year, cubs double their weight every 2 months. Is this even contradicting it? Okay. Now Ridhima goes to option C. So what does option C have? During this early summer period, what does the claim of the student say? When did they gain weight? Only during late summer and fall in preparation for hibernation. Yeah. Now look at the notes, people. The sows that were studied gained between 12 to 140 pounds. What does it say? Over 2 months. All right. So where do we have anything about when they gained weight here? They averaged about 1.2 pounds a day and so much of fat a day. During the early summer period, the bears are working to gain more muscle than fat. So that means when is actually the bears gaining weight, people? Early summer. And what does the student say? When are they gaining weight? Late summer. Got it? So which one is actually contradicting? Is during this early summer period, the bears are working to gain more muscle than fat, contradicting it? Or is the sows that were studied gained between 12 to 140 pounds over 2 months, contradicting it? Where have they gained the weight? So there is a difference between working to gain and gained. And which over 2 months are they talking about? In the early summer period when the study was on. So be careful. Don't just go with working to gain and gained. You clearly saw that these guys show that they gained so much pounds over 2 months. So B it is, people. Be careful to read every choice. All right. Clear? So this one was a little, these questions will take time, people, but you have to be cautious. Save time in the easier questions and move on to do the harder questions a little carefully and cautiously. Okay, let's go to this one now. What's the question asking us here, people? See, there are different types of questions. Some are quite readily understood. Some need time to get understood. So this is asking us to state the main idea of the text. What do we mean by main idea, people? First, let's get that straight. What do we mean by main idea? Okay, a summary might not exactly mean a main idea, Vedant. A main idea move on to say the purpose the author wrote the text. Okay. That's what would be the main idea. A gist or summary would just be, covering the entire text. All right. So it's more, why did the author even present the text? Yes, more close to the central idea. Great. So that means we have to read the text. Come on. I give you all around 30 seconds to quickly read through, skim through this. Let me see what answer you all pop up with. All right. Just, okay. I'll give you all a little more than 30 seconds. 1 minute, say. Okay. And then submit your answer when I say. All right. Let the 1 minute go. Don't be in a hurry. Hold on, don't submit. You have a 20 seconds left. Vedant, I told you, wait till I say so. Ten seconds. All right, submit. Let's see how many got it right. I see Vedant already submitted. Okay. Some more people. I can see a lot of people here. Oh, I think that's wonderful. All of you got to the correct answer. Maybe I should not have leaked out that main idea means purpose of the author. All right. Now, had you gone with the gist, people, wouldn't representing a journey also have been a very appealing answer, isn't it? Okay. Embellished animation, that also you saw somewhere in the text. Providing context for probably, would have been eliminated at first. But you clearly, see that the mood is set out here. All right. So D, it was wonderful. Kudos to you all to have got this. Let's look at this now. So look at the question here, people. Always focus on the question first. Which choice best states the function of the underlined sentence in the text as a whole? All right. So you can see a sentence underlined, and you'll have to now read the text so that you get to know what could the function of that sentence be. All right. So let's first give it to you all and see whether you're able to do it. All right. A 1 minute starts now. Vedant, don't submit till I say so. 15 seconds. I hope all of you have the answer. Yes, submit please. Okay. Oh, I have A, B, C. Some more before I give it out. Okay. So those who got B as your answer have one. Good. Now, people, how should we even do this type of question is, obviously, yes, we need to read the text as a whole, but our focus would move on to look at the underlined sentence first. All right. So this says, moreover. Oh, this is a good transition word to even understand. Okay, why would this guy say moreover? Consumers tend to see time, but not money, as more likely to be readily available in the future, regardless of current demands on either source. So why would he say a moreover? That means the idea must have come before already. So obviously, how will you know about the function, people, is by looking to why the moreover would have come, which means I have to go and check out what's happening earlier. And we can clearly see that we propose that time is perceived as more discretionary and under consumers' personal control than money. So see, people tend to see time, but not money is now going in the direction of what was said already. So not a solution. Yes, it supports a theory. Discredits will go in the opposite direction. Nothing about assumptions out here. Rajeshwari, these questions are meant for later. This is just to introduce some strategies to you. All right. This is one last type of question that I would discuss with you, people. There are these cross texts that come on the SAT, short texts out here. And usually the question moves on to ask us, what did the author in text 2 have to say about someone's view in text 1? All right. So let's read to know more about how to solve this question. So based on the text, the author of text 2 would most likely respond to the discussion of the New Horizons continued journey, text 1, by claiming that the journey. Okay, so that means the first thing I would look for is, what is the discussion of the New Horizons continued journey in text 1? So where would that be, people? Who's going to tell me? Quickly read through text 1 and tell me, where has the journey been discussed in text 1? Okay, so it says it wasn't launched until 2006, after long years of delay, redesigns, even near-death cancellations. What else is there to that effect, people? So that's about what the discussion is, isn't it? So now, based on the text, the author of text 2 would most likely respond how? So now let's go to text 2 and see what the author has to say about it. Where would you find that? Using the telescope in the summer of blah, 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 in what was a bit of last-ditch attempt, there was a huge relief as just 5 plausible targets finally revealed themselves, with 2 later confirmed. The first of these, called PT1, or more difficult, blah, blah, has now been chosen as the next goal for New Horizons. So this is going to give a lot of clue. PT1 is the next goal for the New Horizons. All right. So a continued journey. And he's already said the next goal is already set as PT1. So we could possibly keep option A now. Yes or no? Will not take place on a literal road out. Will be endless. I still don't know about what is there. The response wasn't talking about endless. Will take a long time before return is possible. Was this even discussed? So the answers have to be supported by the text, people. Only A sort of is supported where it says the next goal. So obviously has to be the one further stop. And he's already said at least very mildly put answer, not a very strong answer. All right. So I hope a lot of these question types discussed with you. What is the strategy, what to read first, what to do next has been understood well. More when you join us. Now over to Srinivasan, who's going to discuss the math strategies, which will more keep you all in the fingertips. All right. All right, Sinu, over to you.
Yeah, hi. Thank you, Rajima. And just 1 minute, people. I'm sharing my screen. Okay, I hope so. You can see my screen now. Okay, thank you, Jia. Thanks for the confirmation. I hope you learned a lot of strategies about how to handle the DSAT verbal, and let's continue the same with the math also now. And before we go to start, again, you know that the math is also, we have a 2 module, right? And how many questions in each module? For a verbal, it is 27, Jia. Okay, for a verbal, it is 27 questions. Yeah, Nivedita, superb. It is 22 questions you have to answer this. Okay. But on average, you have a more time for math, you can see, when compared to verbal. Can anyone tell me how many minutes to answer this 22 questions? How many minutes? Pranay said 25. No, I'm saying, I'm just asking like one module only. Okay, just only one module. Any idea? Yeah, exactly. It is 35 minutes. Okay. And you have to answer this in 35 minutes. Okay. Let's get into the question here and see how we can able to answer the questions. And one major thing here is about the difficulty level. Okay, say for example, the 22 questions look like 35. It's a ideal time. I can easily do it, right? But when the section is going to be harder, okay, when I'm just going to see that the more harder problems, and how I going to able to practice those questions. I mean, you know that the module going to be easier module or harder module, right? Second module. I hope you're aware that this is a module adaptive test. Meaning your second module of the test is depends on your performance of the first module. Okay. For example, if I get a good score, I mean, very good number of questions in the first module, the second module is going to be harder. It's not all the questions are going to be harder, the most of the problems. Same thing, if you're getting like very few number of questions in the first module, a second module is going to be kind of hard for you. I mean, easy for you. Okay. Again, not all the questions, so most of the problems you're going to see. Okay. So maybe today's strategy is going to help you, especially on the harder module with the time strain. Okay. Time constraints actually. Okay. Yeah. Let's see some practice questions here. Let's see, started with the word problem. Adima asked a wonderful question. Well, in digital SAT also, we will have a calculator and no calculator section. Nothing like that. The whole module, both the modules are going to be a calculator allowed one. It is you can take your physical calculator. Also, the inbuilt calculator is available. Okay. The inbuilt one is linked to the Desmos graphing calculator. I hope you know about Desmos, right? Right? I hope you know about Desmos graphing calculator. Yeah, good. So maybe you can Google it actually, DESMOS. I'll show you on the today's session as well. That's going to give you some idea about how to graph. You can use the idea to graph it actually. Okay, this calculator, you can use it to perform the math. Also, you can graph it to answer the questions. Okay, the calculator is allowed for the entire model, which is both the modules. It's not like that. There is a section is no calculator. Okay, or you can also take your own physical calculator too. Okay. Now let's take a look at the first question. It's a word problem. Okay. Usually what people do, they worried about the word problem usually in the most of the cases, I would say. Okay. And again, they read the whole thing and they try to write their own equation for this. Okay. What is our advice here is, again, just like a verbal, you can do the process of elimination, which is say, look at the choices and try to get answer. Okay. So here, the important piece is J hours of each day and 3 days. And similarly, N hours of each day and 5 days. Correct now? The question asks you to find the total combined number of hours worked. Good. I can able to see that most of you gave an answer quickly. Good. Definitely, I can say that this addition of the two values is definitely not going to be C and D, right? I can easily do the POE, right? Among the A and B, I have to say J with 3 and 5 with N. So simple question, so I can able to answer the question, which is A easily, right? Yes, your idea is correct. A is answer. But my point is, don't try to write the expression and look at the choices. Look at the choices and do the POE. That's going to help you to get an answer so quickly. Okay. And the one more problem now. So we're going to discuss about the geometry questions. Okay. In the figure shown above, lines A and B are parallel. K and L are also parallel. The measure of angle X is 75 degree. So it is given that this angle is 75 degree. The question is asked about what is Y. If I know the parallel line property, this question is easy. Yeah, I can see the answer C, B. Good. Even if I'm not sure about the parallel line properties, our recommendation is look at the choices, and also the figure. Okay. Remember that in a geometry digital SAT, in SAT usually, the geometry questions are always drawn to scale. How this is going to be advantage for me to answer the question means simple. You see that the XY angle, is it look like obtuse angle or acute angle? Angle Y. Angle Y is a question asked for us to find. Angle Y, is it looks like acute or obtuse? No doubt it's obtuse, right? So surely you can expect that the answer for Y is also obtuse for sure. Okay. Even if I don't know the properties, I can still able to eliminate option A and B because those two are acute. I'm looking for obtuse. Okay. And the other two choices are saying 105. Another one is 165. Okay. You can just ballpark. You can just say approximately it's C only, because why not 165 means a straight line angle is 180 degree. Correct now? This is 180 degree. Then 165 means, somewhat I'm looking for like higher angle like this. But it doesn't look like that way too, right? Okay. So that's why you're going to choose C's answer so simply. Okay. Without doing the work also. But as the property, when the two parallel lines are intersected by the third line like this, maybe you can say it's a parallelogram. It's going to form a parallelogram. If it is 75, the opposite to that is also going to be 75. So 75, 180 minus 75 is going to be 105. Okay. If I know all the properties, I can able to answer the question like this way too. Okay. I hope the idea of ballparking clear. Please remember the geometry figures are drawn to scale. Okay. Okay. When I give a question like this to the students, what they usually do, they're just going to completely solve this one, the entire expression. So don't waste your time to do that like that. Just do one piece at a time. One piece at a time means, you can see that there is a common here. Like say, for example, I can see that AB square, and similarly here is also have a AB square, right? Which is the same value, right? So perform only one thing and try to do the POE. Why not? Instead of do the entire math, just do only one piece at a time and do the POE. Similarly, I have a square here, but we don't have we have a square here too. Maybe you can do that too. And based on that, you can choose your answer. Pranay, Saradi, I think most of you chose D. Let me check that from my side as well. The first POE is, if I do only these two, AB square and AB, this is minus or minus, make it as a plus AB square actually, correct now? So overall, if I do AB square, it's going to be 2 times of AB square. 2 times of AB square help me to eliminate option A and B for sure, right? Because definitely I know that it is twice of AB square, right? And secondly, I'm just going to look at the, maybe your wish, okay? We left with C and D. In a C and D, whatever the difference, you can take that one, okay? So for example, I'm going to take that 4A square, and here it is minus 4A square. So 4A square minus 4A square, that's going to cancel each other. It's going to give 0, right? So definitely I should not get A square at all, okay? So which means answer D. That's it, right? Okay. So these are the questions that are actually marked by SAT. It's a harder problem because of the big expressions, okay? But these are easy if you do that with the version of POE, okay? Okay, good. So the next one is quite interesting question. In India, it's kind of a questions are, really rare actually, I would say. The reason is they won't ask you to solve anything. Just ask you what is the meaning of each piece in the equation, okay? So the equation is P is equal to 326 minus 12H. And we have answer choices here. So you need to answer the question, what is the meaning of the value 326 in the equation? You should say what is mean by 326. Okay. So to answer this question, yeah, I can see that the people able to answer the C like that. Okay, let's see. First, understand what is the each given piece. Okay, what is P, what is H? Okay. So for example, the number of pages that he has left to edit. Okay, this is very important piece. That's what this P represents. Okay, so I'm going to mark that the P is nothing but number of pages left with. Okay, then H represents the number of hours he spent on editing. So the H is the number of hours he spent on editing. Okay, then 326 minus this one. Then what is probably 326, do you believe? Why they are subtracting 12 times of H? To get the number of pages left. Any idea? I just want to give your own word about what is 326 is. Yeah, can you give your own word about the 326? What it should be? Is it number of hours or is it number of pages? Good. It is number of pages. It is number of pages. Okay. And why we are subtracting means maybe this is the initial count. Okay. That's why they give a leftovers. Whatever the leftovers is going to give us a P actually. So that's why initial minus whatever he did actually. Okay. With this idea, just do the POE. It is definitely not a rate per day thing. Definitely not rate. So I can eliminate A and B for sure, right? Because per hour, per day definitely not makes sense. Okay. It's given a total of 326. Yeah, that makes sense. That's why total is 326 and subtracting some value from that is going to give a remaining, right? I'm going to hold this option. Last one, we'll finish editing the book in 326 hours. Again, this is not number of hours, correct? No, this is about number of pages. So this itself give you a lead perfectly to the answer C only, right? So have a habit to do the POE more, and you love to do the digital SAT more quickly and more efficiently as well, people. Okay, good. Okay, this is not a hard problem, but I just want you to see that how many of you give a right answer and also quickly and accurately too. So let me give you a 1 minute time for you. So I'm going to give you 1 minute time for this function problem. So meanwhile, I'm also setting up my scratch paper on my side. Okay, I got a first answer from Pranay. Okay, got answers from others people also. Almost 1 minute is over. Let me give additional 30 seconds. Just additional 30 seconds. Okay, people, time's up. We will discuss the answers now. Okay. The correct answer to the question is actually option D. So D wins here. So those who chose the D is the correct answer. Okay. Um, I understand that in our school, it's just started this way, correct? Now, f of 3. If you want to find f of 3 is equal to 12, I have to substitute the x value 12. I'm going to substitute, I'm sorry, x value 3 so that the f of x is 12, correct? Now, so I get an equation like this. 12 is equal to c times of, in the place of x, I have to substitute 3. That's going to be 3 squared, 9, it becomes plus 30, correct? Now, and after that, 9 times of c, if I go to bring the 30 to the other side, is going to be minus 18. If I solve it, I get a c value is negative 2. Some people stopped working here. That's the reason you got to answer B. So B here is a trap. That is a C value only. Correct, no? So don't do that. They always choose answer choices this way only. Be careful about it. Okay. Good. Further, what I want to find is f of negative 3. Okay. In the place of f of negative 3, in the C, I know that this is negative 2. And in the place of C, I have to substitute negative 2. And then that into the x squared value minus 3 squared. Minus 3 squared is 9. And then that plus 30 is going to be the answer. That is going to be negative 18 plus 12, 30. That is going to be plus 12 actually, right? That's why f of minus 3 is D's answer. Okay. This is the actual way. This is how we taught in the school and we go to answer the question. But we have a suggestion for you. Instead of doing this long method, you know that it is given that f of 3. It is asked for f of minus 3. Look at the place of x here. In the place of x, I have to make the 3 as minus 3. That's it, right? If I square the number, is that going to make any difference? Same number, 3 and minus 3. Is that going to make any difference if I put a square of the number? Did you get a question? If you want to find f of 3, or if I want to find f of negative 3, in the position of x, I have to replace that is 3 and negative 3 squared. Is that going to make any difference? No, right? Because you say 3 squared is 9, minus 3 squared is also become a 9 only, right? So with that idea, I can directly choose the answer is no change, it will be 12 only, right? Without doing any calculation of this one. I hope the idea is clear, right? So this is the way smartly you have to work the problem so that it's going to save a time and accurately also give an answer. You're not, choosing B kind of thing. Okay. And some people choose A also. The reason is it is 3 and I'm going to choose negative 3. That's why I'm looking for negative 12 as answer. That's why they give negative 12 is also one of the trap here. So be careful about these kind of traps. Okay. Good. Let's move to the next one. This question expect you to know about the exponents. So the question is 3 power A over 81 power B, that is equals to 9 power C. And what is the value of C? And there is an equation also given about A and 4B. I mean, A minus 4B is given as 18. In exponents, there is a rule. If you have a different bases, what we have to do? I have a base 3, 81, 9. If we have a different bases like this, what we need to do? Okay, I see that people make it the same base. Superb, Jia. I'm going to make it the same base, okay? It is not a good idea to increase the power, instead to reduce it actually, okay? I mean, reduce all the base value to the lower value, okay? For example, I can write this one as 3 to the power A. Similarly, 81. How are we going to write that 81 as 3 power? 81 is nothing but 9 squared, otherwise 3 power 4 it is, right? So I can write that 81 as 3 to the power 4. This is 81 alone, and that power is B, correct now? Which is equal to 9 power c, 9 is nothing but 3 squared, and that power is c actually, right? Okay, and this is I'm going to do the the basic operation of the exponents. If you have a power of power, you go to multiply the power. It's going to be 3 power 4b, that is equal to 3 to the power. The power of power, you go to multiply it, that's going to be 2c actually, right? And as a division means, what do you have to do with the power? If the bases are same and there is a division, what do you have to do with the power? Yeah, you can write 3 to the power. Subtract, exactly. You got to write 3 to the power a minus 4b. And that is what equals to 3 to the power 2c. Okay. Now I can equate the powers now because the bases are equal. 2c value is equal to a minus 4b. That's why a minus 4b is given as 18. Okay. So 3c value is, sorry, 2c value is given as 18. Then the value of c from this one is equal to 9. So answer for this one is this. C here is a trap answer. Okay. So B is the correct answer. Good idea. This is again exponents and along with the roots here now. But it's a simple problem. I'm going to give a 1 minute time for this. I'm going to give 1 minute time for this question. So 5 times of c value, that is equals to root of 5z. It is a SPR, meaning student produced response question, which means you should enter the answer numerically in it. Okay. Okay, started getting answer. Anika gave answer. Adiva gave answer. Chia, you have a doubt with that? Yeah, definitely should have a doubt with that number because it is difficult to feed that number, right? Good. Even some simple question also, it's going to be look hard if you are not applying the rule properly. Okay. Don't urge yourself. Do the math in a step-by-step approach. Okay. For example, this is if I go to multiply, it is a 15 into root 5 only. Correct? Na? I'm not going to do anything. 15 root 5, just multiplying the 5 into 3. Okay. That is equals to another side. Root of 5 into z means I can split the roots, right? I hope you all know this one. You can split the root like this. Correct? Na? It's just similar to root 6 can be written as root 2 times root 3. Correct? Na? Similarly, root 16 can be written as root 4 into root 4, right? Okay. After this, I'm dividing the root 5 on both the sides because it is common value. So I'm going to divide the root 5 on both the sides. Most of you, I can see, gave answer 15. But be careful. What is a mistake in this? The 15 is not a value of z. 15 is a value for root of z. Okay. Exactly. So to find a z, I have to square on both the sides, right? To square this, you get a z here. Similarly, this value is going to be 225. So the answer for this question is 225. I have to enter. Okay. And the trap answers here, some of you gave 15. That is a perfect trap. Look at this. Only root z is 15. Another trap is some of you said root 15. If you have root 15, you should get a doubt to enter because, you know, in a student produced response, they won't ask you to enter root 15 and all. Usually it's going to be the integer value. Otherwise, decimal fine, but not root of 2, root of 3. It's very rare. Okay. So you have to be doubt with these answers actually. Okay. Good. Let's go to the next one now. Do you know about the vertex form of a parabola equation? Rudraksh, at the end of the slide, we have a contact number. You can just directly connect with that. Okay. Okay. Do you know the vertex form? Actually, no, Adiba. Not like that, actually. Okay. So even in the 10th, also you can start the course because the SAT math usually going to be 10th level only. Okay. It's never going to touch that 11th and 12th and all for sure. Maybe some of the topics is not get covered in your school syllabus, but we're going to cover that in our class. Okay. So you don't need to worry about that. Okay. How many of you know this? Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. What is this? What form is this? I hope you know about the different forms. Yeah, good. It is a quadratic equation. If I said it is equal to 0, if I say ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, that is a quadratic equation. But if I say y, it is a graph of a parabola. It's a standard form of the parabola equation. Okay. Yeah. And then you got to convert this into the different forms also. Okay. This one is called vertex form of the parabola equation. Okay. This is just a rewriting the same thing in the different way, actually. Okay. Yes, Rudraksh, we will do that. Rudraksh, can I answer your questions at the end of the session? Is that fine? Yeah. Good. So this is called vertex form. Okay. This is called vertex form. If I just know about this, I can able to answer the question. If I know this one, I can able to answer the question. Okay. What does mean by vertex means this point is called a vertex. The lowest point in the parabola is called a vertex. Okay. The coordinate, the equation which contains these coordinates is actually called a vertex form of the equation. That's it. Okay. But knowing that itself, you know that which are the coordinates vertex as a coordinate in the function, right? Which of the following is equivalent form of the function f that includes a coordinate of v as a constant in the function. You want to see this in the constant. Very simple. You have to see in this form. Okay. Can you tell me out of these 4 choices, which answer choice is in the form of vertex? In the vertex form of equation? We will explain these things in detail in a course, but just now look at this one and tell me which answer choice exactly in this form. Exactly. It's only option A, right? Option A only in the format of don't afraid, we have a h here. Okay, minus h here. Okay, that's possible. The h value can be negative. That's why you get a x plus 1 in this case. Okay, so option A only in the vertex form. The option A refers the vertex actually. Okay, that's it. And that's how you go to answer this question actually, Vito. Okay. Okay, good. The last question here. Take a look at this one. I just want you to try. If you know about the equation of the line and inequality, you can easily answer the question. Otherwise, you can also allow you to use a graphing calculator, isn't it? I mentioned, right? You can use a graphing calculator. I want everyone to take down these 2 inequalities first on your scratch paper, which is y greater than or equals to x plus 2 is a 1. Another one is y greater than or equal to 1. If I know how to graph the lines, and I can easily get a solution. Even if I don't know that, you can use the Desmos graphing. I'm going to show you that actually, how Desmos graphing going to help you here. In SAT, this is allowed, okay? You can allow to use a graphing calculator. Let me show you this question, okay? So I'm sharing my screen here. I hope you all can see the graphing calculator. This is how Desmos graphing look like, okay? So in this one, I'm just going to type the equation simply. Y is greater than or equals to. So for greater than or equal to, have to, look at these symbols here. Actually, you can see, okay? Greater than or equals to x plus 2. Yeah, you can see the red line, right? This is the inequality. I mean, this is a graph of this equation. Okay, inequality. Okay. Second one, y is greater than or equals to 1. Correct now? Yeah, you can see the blue line. Now, look at the graph and tell me which quadrant we have a solution. I hope you know that all 4 quadrants, right? Quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. in these 4 quadrants, in what are the quadrants we have a common solution? In what are all the coordinates? We have a quadrants, we have a common solution. Can you tell that? Exactly. You have a quadrant in a 1 because in the first quadrant, I can see some overlapping, right? Overlapping of blue and the red, okay? In a 1, the first quadrant. Similarly, in the second quadrant also, correct now? So here is your second quadrant, right? The X value is going to be negative, Y values are positive. In the second quadrant also have a common solution, okay? The third and fourth are in the bottom. I can see only the red quotient in the third quadrant. I didn't see that both blue and red actually, correct now? A common solution means you have to see the overlapping of both red and blue. And fourth, no graph is in the fourth solution. I mean, I'm going to ignore it completely. So the answer is 1 and 2. Okay. Let me take you back to the, the question screen. Yeah, the question asks you how many quadrants. The question asks you, didn't ask you which quadrant. The question asks you how many quadrants you have a solution. How many quadrants will contain solution to the system? Then my answer is exactly. It's going to be C. 2 is the correct answer for this question. Okay. Yeah. So I hope that I just gave some glimpse or some idea about the digital SAT math questions, and also we learned some techniques and strategies also to apply it to answer the questions in a reliable way, which is with a higher accuracy and higher time phrasing also. Okay. And this is our contact number and mail ID also, so you can reach out to us anytime with this ID. Okay. Before we finish up or wind up, do you have any other doubts? Thank you, Jaya. Do you have any other doubts? Okay, definitely my advice to you kids, actually, apart from your learning in the school, definitely to to handle the SAT questions, definitely you need some other techniques and strategies like this. Okay, it is very important. Okay. Rudraksh, you asked about the duration of what, the course, or Paradi, we have 2 ways. Okay, we have a course, and also, I mean, we have in one-on-one sessions also. Okay. Yeah, Pranay. We also are giving coaching for AP exams as well, different subjects of AP. Rudraksh, the course duration is actually 2.5 hours of session. If it is a course, if you are enrolled for the program, 2.5 hours of session with 7 math and 8 verbal sessions. And apart from this, you have a 10 hours of refresher program as well. Okay, kids. Any other doubts? I hope I answered all your doubts. Pranay, I'm not sure about the charges because I'm an academic person. So maybe you can reach out the numbers which popped up on the screen and they will connect with you regarding it. Okay. Otherwise, you can also send a mail. Yeah. Okay. For any course related queries, I mean, you can just reach out this number or you can also mail us. Okay. So we'll reply it quickly as soon as possible. Okay, people. Thank you so much and all the very best for your SAT preparation. And I hope you, definitely did a good job in your SAT preparation. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.